You have a task you genuinely want to finish. You know it matters. You know the deadline is approaching. And yet, you cannot make yourself start. You scroll instead. You clean instead. You suddenly want to reorganize a drawer that has not been touched in years. You call yourself lazy. You call yourself broken. But the truth is something most people never see. For decades, procrastination was framed as a character flaw. People assumed it meant weakness or poor discipline. That old story is wrong. Modern psychology has revealed something completely different about why you stall. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It is an emotional regulation problem disguised as one. When you avoid a task, your brain is not lazy. It is protecting you from a feeling underneath it. That feeling might be fear. It might be boredom, anxiety, resentment, or quiet self-doubt. Your nervous system detects the discomfort first. The avoidance happens before you even notice it occurring. You think you chose to scroll. In reality, your brain pulled the escape lever automatically. This is why willpower fails almost every time. You are not fighting laziness, you are fighting a survival reflex. Picture this. You sit down to write something important, and your chest tightens slightly without warning. You do not name the feeling. You just feel a vague heaviness, and your hand reaches for the phone. That tiny movement is not weakness. Your brain chose relief over threat in less than a second. You did not lose a battle of discipline. You never even saw the battle begin. But there is something even more surprising about this pattern most people never hear. Researchers at Carleton University have studied chronic procrastinators for over 20 years. Their findings shocked the productivity world. They expected to find broken schedules and weak intentions. They found something else entirely underneath. The procrastinators understood their tasks clearly. They simply could not tolerate the feelings the tasks evoked. They discovered procrastinators do not have worse time skills than other people. They have worse mood tolerance. The task itself is rarely the real problem. The emotion attached to the task always is. A blank page does not scare you. The fear of writing something bad scares you. An unanswered email does not exhaust you. The dread of confrontation inside it exhausts you. A gym session does not feel impossible. The story of inadequacy attached to it does. Every task you avoid carries an invisible emotional weight. Your brain weighs that weight before you ever begin. If the weight exceeds your current capacity, avoidance activates instantly. There is no conscious decision involved. This is why the same task it feels effortless one day and impossible the next. The weight has not changed. You have. This is the part most productivity advice never mentions out loud. Apps will not fix this. Timers will not fix this. New planners will not fix this. None of those tools address the emotion sitting silently underneath the avoidance itself. You can color code your calendar perfectly. The discomfort will still ambush you tomorrow morning. Most people respond to procrastination by trying harder. They schedule more, plan more, pressure themselves more aggressively. The pressure creates more anxiety. The anxiety triggers more avoidance. The cycle tightens around you. This is why disciplined people still procrastinate on certain tasks. The harder you push, the more your nervous system resists. It is not a willpower deficit. It is a deeper signal asking to be heard before you move. The body knows something the mind has not yet translated into words. When you ignore that signal repeatedly, your system simply turns up the volume of the avoidance. If you have experienced this, you are not alone, and you are not broken in any way. You are simply human, running ancient software in a modern environment that demands constant performance. There is a second layer most people miss entirely. Procrastination often hides a quieter signal underneath it. That signal is meaning. You stall on tasks that quietly conflict with who you are becoming. You delay the message you do not really want to send. You avoid the project you secretly outgrew. Sometimes procrastination is laziness. Far more often, it is information arriving at the wrong door. Your brain is whispering something your conscious mind has not yet admitted to itself. That the job is wrong, that the relationship is heavy, that the goal belongs to someone you no longer are. If you keep stalling on the same thing, ask whether the resistance is fear or whether it is a quiet no. But assume for now the task does matter. Assume you genuinely want to do it well. How do you move when your nervous system has already pulled the emergency brake? What neuroscience discovered next changes everything about how we should approach starting. The answer is not more force. The answer is shrinking the emotional cost of starting itself. Your brain avoids tasks that feel large, vague, or threatening, and engages with tasks that feel small, clear, and safe. So you do not begin the report. You begin one single sentence of the report. You do not begin the workout. You begin putting your shoes on near the door. You do not begin the difficult conversation. You begin opening a blank message and typing one greeting. This is not a trick. It is a redesign of the emotional weight your brain measures before acting. A 2-minute version of any task slips quietly under the radar of your threat system. Once you start, momentum takes over, almost gently. Once momentum exists, the underlying emotion shifts. Action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. That order matters more than almost anyone realizes. You have been waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a result of starting, not a prerequisite for it. The smallest visible motion is enough to begin reversing the avoidance loop in your nervous system. Comment which task you have been avoiding the longest. One word is enough, naming it weakens it. If this is landing for you, drop the word focus below. It tells the algorithm to share this with others who need it. Share what kind of feeling sits underneath your most avoided task. The community learns from your honesty. Now back to the deeper work waiting for you. There is one more practice that separates people who beat procrastination from people who manage it forever. They learn to sit with the feeling instead of solving it immediately. When discomfort arrives, most people try to escape it the second it appears. That escape is the procrastination itself. But discomfort, if you let it stay for 60 seconds, almost always softens on its own. Your nervous system needs to learn that the feeling is survivable without action. Each time you stay, the avoidance reflex weakens slightly. Each time you flee, it strengthens further. This is how you rewire procrastination at the root, not by hating yourself, but by tolerating yourself. Sit down, notice the resistance, breathe through it for 1 full minute without moving. Then take the smallest possible action. Open the document, write 1 line, send 1 sentence. You will not feel triumphant. You will feel slightly less stuck. That small shift is the signal of real change. What is coming next is the exact method that fixes this over weeks of practice. For the next 7 days, run a quiet experiment with yourself. Each time you catch yourself avoiding, pause and ask one question. What feeling am I trying to escape right now? Do not judge the answer. Just name it. Fear, boredom, resentment, shame, exhaustion. Naming the feeling reduces its grip almost instantly. Brain scans confirm this. The thinking brain calms the emotional brain. Then shrink the task until starting feels almost laughably small to your nervous system. 2 minutes, 1 sentence, 1 rep. 1 email opened, 1 paragraph read. Stack tiny wins quietly. Watch the avoidance loosen without forcing anything dramatic. You are not building discipline. You are building emotional fluency around effort itself. Discipline asks, how much can you endure? Fluency asks, what is this feeling trying to tell me? One approach exhausts you over time. The other slowly returns you to yourself. Stay with me. This next part will explain something about your brain you have never been able to articulate clearly. The reason this works is that procrastination has always been a feedback signal, not a flaw in your wiring. It tells you a task feels heavier than your current capacity to feel discomfort. When you increase your capacity to feel, the task feels lighter. Nothing about the task itself has actually changed. This is why some weeks the same workload feels easy, and other weeks it feels completely crushing. The work has not changed. Your emotional bandwidth has shifted underneath you without you noticing. So protect that bandwidth like the resource it actually is. Sleep, sunlight, slow mornings, fewer open loops. A regulated nervous system procrastinates far less than an exhausted one trying to muscle through everything. You cannot outdiscipline a depleted system. You can only restore it, slowly and patiently. This is why rest is not the opposite of productivity. Rest is the foundation that makes focus possible at all. The most consistent people guard their managing more carefully than their schedules. This reframe is the quiet revolution most people miss. Procrastination is not your enemy. It is your messenger. It tells you when a task carries hidden fear. It tells you when you are running on empty. It tells you when something in your current life no longer fits who you are becoming. Listen to it instead of fighting it constantly. Then move gently, one small step at a time. The people who appear effortlessly productive are not stronger than you. They have simply learned this language earlier. They feel the resistance, numb it, shrink the task, and begin. often within the same single minute. You can learn this too. It is not a personality trait. It is a practice anyone can build. And like any practice, the first attempts feel awkward and clumsy. The 10th attempt feels surprisingly natural. Do not measure yourself against a perfect version of you. Measure yourself against the avoidance loop you used to live inside. Tonight, choose one task you have been avoiding the most. Just one. Nothing more than that. Sit with the feeling for 60 seconds before doing anything else. Let it rise. Let it pass through. Then do the smallest possible version of the task, not the whole thing, just the entry point. Notice how different that feels from forcing yourself forward. Notice how the resistance quietly loses its shape. This is how procrastination dies, not in a single act of willpower, but in many small acts of tolerance. You were never lazy. You were managing emotion with the only tools you had been given. Now you have better tools. Use them quietly, consistently, and without drama or self-punishment. If this changed something for you tonight, leave a single word below so others can find this conversation. Subscribe if you want more videos that explain what is actually happening inside you, not just what to do. Your time is finite. Your attention is precious. Your avoidance is not your identity or your destiny. You were never lazy. You were only afraid of a feeling you had not yet learned to hold. Learn to hold it, and the work, finally, will follow. Your hours are not infinite. Your attention is your last real currency. Spend it on what matters, even when the first minute is uncomfortable. That minute is the doorway. Welcome to the path.